Hey, before we get into today's episode, I want to talk about the great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Big weekend here, Chief. NFL playoffs are cooking. Notre Dame, Ohio State on Monday. It's a great Miller Lite weekend.
I got to say,
Yeah.
I've been exhausted from football. Just watching football all day, every weekend. It's like you need that little boost. You need a little something. You need like that can of comfort.
Yep.
That's Miller Lite.
That's Miller Lite. So from holiday gatherings and office parties to fireside conversations and football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. That's great. We got Tyler Eifert coming on later, and also he pops in Zack Martin, which is awesome. That's their crew.
Yeah.
Him, Tommy Reese, those two.
Yeah.
Chris Watt.
So they told me Reese was going to go with him to the game too, and those really are Reese's guys, which would have been cool. So we would have had some victory Miller Lights after the game, but he took the Cleveland job, so he can't go.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's just awesome they got their squad. I hope they're all drinking Millers. Like,
I'm sure they can do some damage on a case or two.
totally.
Yeah.
Just having, talking about the days and watching the days of news. So,
Yeah.
Miller Lite, great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stretch to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, so now it's the interview episode of The Stretch. Today we are joined by tight end, Notre Dame tight end specifically, Tyler Eifert. Tyler, to me, we were looking through someone to have on to talk about this game on Monday. Like, you're from Indiana, you went to Notre Dame, you played basically your whole NFL career in Ohio. So this is like your kind of cyclone, man. Are you getting shit from all areas, from Ohio State people? Obviously, you're on the Notre Dame side, but how's it been for you, this whole process?
You're ground zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't wear the shirt on purpose, but Midwest is the best.
Yeah.
So,
Well done. Midwest football's back.
Yes. No, I mean, I don't know a whole lot of Ohio State fans, other than they're just obnoxious and annoying and the worst. But it's just the whole ticket situation has been crazy. It's always been, going back to the Notre Dame games, trying to get a ticket has been pretty easy for me. But like just me and all my buddies trying to get tickets, it's just been crazy, and just really looking forward to it.
I heard you got that sorted. I was talking to your guy Chris Watt that you and the Martin brothers are rolling down to Atlanta together.
Yeah. I texted Waddy, seeing if he could make a surprise visit on here, but he's down in Cancun. We ended up figuring it out though, so we're dialed.
Good. Am I wrong about that? Is Cincinnati, is that is it mostly the Columbus, Cleveland area that's kind of Ohio State, or it's just kind of
no? You get a decent amount down there too, in Cincinnati, but it's a Catholic town too, so there's a lot of Notre Dame fans in Cincinnati.
Oh, no shit.
To be honest, yeah.
Oh shit. Well,
yeah.
Obviously, you were on the 2013 national championship. 2012, 2013.
Yeah,
it was played.
Yeah.
But like some people are trying to bring this into this game. Can you tell us why it's different? Can you tell us why it's not the same thing here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about this a lot with some of my buddies that didn't go to Notre Dame and didn't play on that team, but just we thought we had a really good team in 2013, and but when you go across the board, position by position, like I think this team is they're just different. They found a way to win games that were, obviously they lost to Northern Illinois, but the teams that weren't very good, they found ways to blow them out. When in 2013, we just found ways to win. And, it was almost like a team of destiny. It felt like we should have won that game just because of all the crazy games that it took for us to get there. It felt like it was just our year. But this team is more of they've just been dominant throughout the entire year. And, I mean, their ability to find ways to win and then also lay it on teams that aren't as good as them has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, that team of destiny thing back in 12, that game against Pitt specifically, I was like, this team, they just can't lose. They can't lose to anyone. Like God was like tried to steal that game away. And Notre Dame's like, nah, like we're gonna find a way. We're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
And then,
that game, and then the Stanford game too, like the goal line, whether a whistle was blown or
he totally didn't get in.
Or not.
He did not get in. Totally didn't get in.
No.
Speaking of that Alabama game, though, I've seen I had said this for years, and now I've seen Manti saying this now too, where in the tunnel, when DJ Fluker and Chance Warmack went out with their big guts hanging out, and like those are scary looking guts, and he felt like a hush come over your team in the tunnel. Did you feel that too? Was there like an intimidation factor before that game?
Yeah, I mean, they were big. I will say that. I kind of compare it to at least when I played AU basketball, and we would look across, and these guys are like our same age, but they're like throwing down windmills and 360 dunks, and we're like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna deal with this? Yeah. But like we felt like we had our own game plan and things that we were good at, that we would be able to handle their size or athleticism, whatever it was. But that team was really good. They had so many good players. Like looking back now, like that team was stacked, and we ran into a buzzsaw.
That was an NFL team. That was basically a full-on NFL team, that Alabama team.
Yes. Yeah, they were. I mean, you go position by position. They were really, really good. Yeah,
and then, you're like one of Kelly's first guys, I feel like, right? That you were one of his first recruits. Did you feel like that momentum and that sea change going, where going into 12, you thought you guys could do something special?
Yeah, I was recruited by Charlie Weiss. I was his last recruiting class. Actually, funny story. My buddy and teammate in high school went to Notre Dame, John Goodman, and he was talking to the receivers coach at Notre Dame, like, hey, you got to give my buddy Eifert a shot. Like Notre Dame didn't recruit me at all, and it was getting late my junior year, and it was getting time to like make a decision. And so I went up there for a 1-day camp. It did really well, and Charlie Weiss pulled me over to his golf cart and was like, son, you kind of screwed me here, because now I got to find a spot for you. So that's how I ended up even getting to Notre Dame. I wasn't even recruited. I wasn't even a Notre Dame fan. Honestly, I was a Purdue fan. My dad played basketball at Purdue, and grew up going to Purdue games. But when you get offered by Notre Dame, that's to play football. That's where you go.
You break ranks.
So I was kind of lucky just to even be at Notre Dame, and there was like 8 tight ends on the roster, and it just happened. Some transferred, some graduated, got kicked out, different things happened, some injuries, and then all of a sudden my junior year, like I honestly went to Notre Dame just hoping to get a degree, and then all of a sudden my junior year I'm starting halfway through. So that class, that our class was, we had a really good class that kind of grew over the years, and with Zack Martin, Chris Watt, Manti, Zeke Mata, some of those guys. Harrison Smith, they weren't my class, but Harrison Smith, Mike Floyd, we had some good guys.
Right, so you didn't even foresee, like, you're not one of those guys who's like, oh, it's my destiny to play football. Like, you didn't see this NFL career coming or anything like this? Is
that was like sneaky, the most humble answer I've ever heard, because you left as the all-time leading receiver.
I know, but I honestly went there. I mean, I was recruited by, I always say I was recruited by football teams that were good academically, like Northwestern, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, IU, Purdue, some of those schools. And I was like, I knew I was going to play football in college, but it probably, if you were just to look at a roster and say you could go to the school, you'd say, no, don't go there. They're stacked at tight end. You'll probably never play. But that's where I went, and just ended up, things worked out.
Just ended up awesome.
Yeah, ended up great.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What is the mood around the alumni? Because it does feel like, I remember when I was a kid, Miami was awesome, and you'd look on the sidelines, it'd be Warren Sapp and Michael Irvin, and they had this kind of, I don't know, like program pride that hasn't really shown up the same way, at least from a fan's view, at Notre Dame until kind of now. It seems like everybody's buzzing. Everybody wants to be on board. Is there like a 50-person group chat of Notre Dame guys getting ready for this game?
Not really. I mean, my group of guys that we hung out with was that we all lived together. I always say we probably had the best 5 dudes to live in a house that were good at football, that liked to party, and were successful after football. It was me, Zack Martin, Chris Watt, Tommy Reese, and Dan Fox. So some of us have gone into football professions. Dan played football for like half a season, and then now he's in the finance world, killing it. Tommy Reese is an OC at Cleveland now. Watt is a coach for the Colts. So we have a really good group of guys, and we just we just always stayed tight knit. Not that we weren't like friends with all the guys on our team, but that's been our group chat. We've been going back and forth trying to get plans together, and really excited.
Hey guys, I want to talk about DraftKings. NFL playoffs. We're talking about NFL playoffs. You bet we are. Get in the action on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6, or go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MID. That's code MID for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Go check out DraftKings. I got to ask, too, we brought him up earlier, Brian Kelly, what do you think that guy's thinking right now?
Well, I saw he said something about, he's pulling for Notre Dame, and that, he didn't go to LSU to win a championship. You can win championships at Notre Dame. But, I think Notre Dame did have some, growing to do as far as just the way things were run from a student and an athlete perspective. When I was there, they wanted it to be athletes were just like the students. You eat in the same places. I remember when Kelly was there, he was fighting for a training table so that we could get our own food, so we didn't have to go all the way to the dining hall and eat whatever food that was there. And as far as just getting certain guys into school, or the whole transfer portal. Notre Dame was only allowing, seniors to transfer, not, sophomores and juniors. So I think, Kelly was maybe on to something a little bit with that, but Notre Dame is Notre Dame. You can win championships at Notre Dame. But you got to think it's he's probably pulling for him, but a little bit kind of wishing that he was still there too.
Also, he did have a comment where most of the players were his guys. So it was still Brian Kelly saying Brian Kelly things. Yeah, you don't have to comment on that, but that was kind of the vibe of that quote. It's yeah, dude, I think Notre Dame worked out. Have you had an opportunity to talk to Freeman or anybody who's directly involved with the program right now?
So Coach Denbrock, the OC, he was my tight end coach when I was at Notre Dame. So I spoke to him a lot early on in the year, before the year started, and I haven't spoke to him a lot, since they've been on this run. Just kind of letting them do their thing. Not that I would be a distraction, but just kind of, they're on a good run. Hopefully I can give them a call or shoot them a text when they finish this off.
Yeah, well, it sounds like, the move obviously brought some positive change because it was such a shakeup and everything like that. So that's good at least, but still, that's tough, man. He's catching it from all angles right now. But
and the whole coaching thing is so funny. It's we lose to Northern Illinois and people are calling for Freeman's head. He wasn't ready. We got to get rid of him, and now he's the guy that turned the whole entire program around and is in the national championship. So I found that pretty funny too.
I was nervous after that NIU game. I was like, he's lost to Marshall, he's lost to NIU. What's going on here?
Oh, I was too. When I was there, we lost some bad games. We lost to Tulsa, we lost to Navy one year, lost to South Florida, and it's just, especially at Notre Dame, the sky is falling. The standards are so high, and we haven't won a national championship since '88, and it's just we want it so bad that every time we hit a little stumble, it feels like, oh no, the season's over again. It happened, but it's pretty awesome. They were able to get back on track and be where they're at.
Yeah, and some of that is due to the new format with the college football playoff. What do you make of that? And would you have liked to play in that, or do you think it's like too much? Because it's now you're playing late into January. It's 4 extra games. What do you think as a former player about the playoff format?
I mean, if I was a player, it's a lot of football.
Yeah.
But you're also in college. Your body is, your body feels better. I feel like even college practices have gotten, more with the times, I guess, with, kind of trying to take care of guys' bodies and trying to be healthy later in the year with how long it's going to go now. But yeah, it is a lot of football, especially for those guys that, I mean, it's only going to be a handful because there's only certain teams that go to the championship, but guys are going to the NFL, trying to get ready for the combine and stuff. I would assume they might make the regular season a little bit shorter by a game or so, because it's a lot of games.
It's a lot of football, but you're right. There's an element where those kids are young, and I don't think that didn't set in for you yet, right? That set in the NFL when it was like, oh, this is like you really need your week-to-week recovery.
Yeah. Even my first couple of years in the NFL, I'm like, do we really need to come out here and do this long warm up? Like, can we just get practice going? Like, let's go. And then, a couple surgeries later, couple years older, I'm like, I'm doing 45 minutes of prep work just before we even go in to warm up for practice. So it definitely does help being young. I will say that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Have you been following the team week to week this year?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we got it. Like, how are you feeling about this game on Monday night? Because it does feel, when that line opened up, Notre Dame +10, I was like, that felt like a disrespectful line, and I think it's moved to 8.5. But do you how do you see this matchup kind of playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you think is you see the line and you're like, I mean, Vegas always knows, right? Like that's not a good sign for us. But I think a lot of that line is just how beat up Notre Dame has been, how good Ohio State has looked, even though in that Texas game, I mean, Texas could say they should have won the game. But they've just looked dominant, And so those two things combined, but I just feel like our defense has been different this year. We play a lot of man, and they got a lot of freaks at receivers, which kind of scares me. My number one thing is if we can get Howard rattled early and just throw them off of their rhythm and just not let them get going. There was a point in that Penn State game where I was nervous because they were going tempo, and we couldn't set the edge of the defense, and they were just running outside zone and just creasing us. And we were tired. I don't know if that was from the flu or just injuries or whatever, but, a team like Ohio State, like, we cannot let them get going with that rhythm. We've all seen Ohio State. Once they find that rhythm, they're hard to slow down. So, I mean, it sounds like coach speak, but get off to a fast start. And I do trust our defense. Like the way that they battled back in the second half against Penn State, finding a way to get stops. Like we got some guys over there that can. I think we got a great shot. I think it's obviously going to be a really good game. It's a good matchup, but
you got to just. I might even wear that winged helmet for this game and just sucker them into pretending like you're playing against Michigan, just get in their heads, because that Jeremiah Smith is terrifying. And if you can just be like, hey, we're going to play bully ball and say meet you in the trenches, then I think Notre Dame has a shot. But that kid is a weapon. And I'll tell you the little scouting report from your guy Chris Watt. He says number one worry is how the tackles will be against their edge rushers, which is a very lineman-esque quote from Chris Watt. It all comes down to the trenches. So do you guys get into that level of detail when you're talking about this game?
Well, yeah, I think there's, definitely from the lineman perspective, like that's not really something I would have thought of. I just think of Ohio State skill players against our skill players and how much man coverage we play. So yeah, there's definitely different perspectives. I just think that if, Howard has been on the money, like if he could just overthrow a couple of those, if we could just dodge a couple of those bullets here and there, that could be the difference in the game blowing wide open, or we're in a dogfight.
What do you think the plan is if they win? Like, what's Notre Dame going to be like? What was the energy going into your game from the student body?
I mean, I think if they win, it's going to be like the monkey off their back kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think the momentum will be rolling. I think the whole NIL or the collective. I think Notre Dame has especially with all this money we're making from the playoff run. And getting to keep it all. And then I also, from what I've heard, like our collective is juiced. Like we are ready to be contenders every year and make sure this is the new normal.
That's so fucked up to even think, like to even hear that and think that that's how it is now is wild. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
But that thing about what he's saying, because I think it's like $26 million or something like that from the playoff, where if you're the Big Ten and you got 16 or whatever teams in there.
What did you get? A fucking power bar from the cafeteria or what?
Yeah, and a canned Gatorade shake.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Dude, it's nuts.
I was always wondering the first teams in the playoff, if they lose their away game, they get no bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was always, no matter what bowl you went to, you always kind of look forward to the bowl and getting some free stuff. But I guess maybe the free stuff or the PS5 or new headphones and all that doesn't matter because everybody just has their own money to go buy it. But
everybody just can go buy a house.
You just buy a house. I guess maybe that's not I mean, bowl games are always fun. You go out and coach will tell you don't have practice the next day, but then he would say you have practice. Everybody's hungover, but it's funny and it's just a fun bowl experience. It was something that I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the old college football. That's for sure.
It's gone. And then with this NIL and the collective and all that, do they hit up you guys like you that had a long career where you made some money? Are they shaking your tree for money?
No, they haven't shook my tree. I don't know.
Your face was like, oh shit, that could happen. Like, you're just
it could happen. I mean, no, they haven't come after me. I think there's guys make some good money in the NFL, but when it comes to like Notre Dame boosters and business, like that's just a whole nother level of money.
Yeah. Were the boosters around when you were in college? Like, was there any sort of element where you see like, oh, who's that guy? He flew in on a PJ. He's watching practice today.
Not really. I mean, I got to know some people. It wasn't like boosters were like hanging around though.
Okay.
Like, you kind of hear that from some schools. Like they weren't like, we didn't have any boosters like that. Some guys maybe take us to dinner or something, but we never really. That was another thing. Like Notre Dame, we play by the rules for the most part. It's like if you want to win, you got to kind of bend the rules a little bit. You got to, do some, what everybody else is doing. But now there's really not many rules to bend because
there are
legal.
There are no rules. Yeah,
like what?
And that's probably why you should flash that shirt again. The Midwest is best, and now that everybody can pay the players, it's an even playing field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, obviously such a cool matchup, two historic programs, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Midwest's best shirt. And I know it's going to come down to probably money and stuff like that, but is part of you kind of wish you joined the conference, or are you in the firm like, no, stay independent forever camp?
I think it's in Notre Dame's best interest to stay independent until I mean, if I was another school and I had to go play a conference championship, I would be pissed at Notre Dame. Like I would hate Notre Dame. But I also it's the best scenario for Notre Dame. The money, we get to pick our schedule. It's although a lot of the conference championships, if you went to it, they tried not to hold it against you if you lost. But if that would drive me nuts if I was another school, or another fan.
And I guess if you don't have a conference, if you win that conference championship, you get a bye. Notre Dame can't get a bye, so they're effectively on a level playing field with the other conference champions because they're ultimately going to play the same.
Yeah, I get the financial ramifications and everything like that, and the competitive advantage. But for me, it's like you said, Midwest guy, like knowing that you have a baked-in game in Happy Valley, or you're going to the big house, or I don't know. There's something pretty cool from a player's perspective if you did join. That's all I'm saying.
That sounds like a guy who doesn't care about Notre Dame.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we did kind of ruin. Like we had a good thing going with Michigan.
Yeah.
We would play Michigan every year, and we would play USC every year, and then but we'll always play USC, I think, and then that Michigan game is we don't play them anymore, so it's kind of just we played Navy and Army, but yeah, I do agree with you. Like if they try to add big games to the schedule, though, still like going to SEC opening at Texas A&M, like that was a big deal. Doing some of these other things that you wouldn't be able to do if you were in the Big Ten, or you probably wouldn't want to if you're in the Big Ten, because you don't want to go play an SEC school when you got your whole Big Ten slate that you got to play still.
Yeah, and you guys in your national championship year, you played Oklahoma on the road. Like that does not happen if they join the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get that, but I think the Midwest Big Ten factor means more than that.
Yeah, Notre Dame's a national program, though.
I get it.
Are we changing the slogan from SEC it means more to Midwest Big Ten it means more?
Yeah. Thanks to your shirt.
But but it is one of those when SC joined the Big Ten, I had the thought in my brain, well, like now you might as well. Who cares? Because you're still that'll be a conference game. You'll still be able to you play your traditional rivals, your national schedule, all that. But you brought up the point with the money, because now you still get to play SC, still have pick your own schedule, and then if you do make this run, all that money is yours.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I just I wanted to hear the counter argument.
All right, let's take one last break, because you know what time it is. It's Miller time. It's the winter. It's cold. It's time to have those Millers on your back deck. You always want to have Millers on deck, on your back deck, the outdoor fridge, the White Sox Dave special, the great tasting, less filling. That white can just blends in right with the snow. It's absolutely perfect. So make these moments even better with Miller Lite. Like we said, it's the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and great tasting light beer. It tastes like Miller time. The taste you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than those other light beers. I'm going to have them for the national championship game. I'm going to have them through the Super Bowl. I'm going to be drinking them all through until St. Patrick's Day. This is beer season. You want to be on it, so make sure you're getting that Miller Lite. Miller Lite, it has great taste, only 96 calories. If you go to MillerLite.com/stretch to find those delivery options near you, or you guys know this is Chicago. This is a Miller Lite town. Any place that sells beer, they're going to have that Miller Lite. So just stop on in, pick it up, celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Miller Brewer Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The absolute best. You can't beat it. Go get yourself some Miller Lite.
To switch gears from Notre Dame a little bit here, you have a very good friend on the Cowboys. I'm a big Bears fan. Mike McCarthy. Should we want him or should we not want him?
Should you want McCarthy or not want McCarthy?
Yeah.
I think you want him.
Okay.
I think.
Well, I mean, FaceTime us when you get to the Martin brothers.
Yeah, let's hear what Zach.
Yeah, let's FaceTime the Martin brothers right now for a little inside scoop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you like it? Like everything you've heard, he's a good coach. Like people like playing for him and everything like that.
Yeah, I think people like playing for him. He takes care of the guys, but he's still like a hard nosed. He's from Pittsburgh, hard nosed dude that knows that aspect of football, but also knows when to back it off. I mean, I wasn't in the locker rooms, but just talking with Zach, like. He was a McCarthy fan.
Oh, here we go.
There it is. There it is. Zach, if you could.
What's up, boys?
Oh, there we go. All right.
There we go. The dog walk boys. Let's go.
Welcome,
Welcome,
dude. What's up?
Yeah, we've pivoted to more of the stretch now, and
I was gonna say, what are we on right now? Are we on the stretch right now?
We're on the stretch, and we're talking your guy.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Tell me about Coach McCarthy. Tell me about Coach McCarthy, please.
Oh, I love Coach McCarthy. That's right. He's interviewing for the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. He's great. He's a hard-nosed dude, Pittsburgh guy. Like, he's going to tell it to you straight. We obviously had some great years with him, and unfortunately didn't work out in the end. But love Coach Mike and think he does it the right way.
Sweet.
All right,
we can get into Notre Dame now. I know you don't want to talk about that shit.
So Zach's a big podcast. Like, I'm more of an Instagram. I'll see the highlights from you guys or wherever on Barstool, but Zach like walks around with the AirPods in, like listening to podcasts all day. I'm like, dude, I'm hanging out with you. Can we take Can we take them out?
No, I'm a big fan of the Chicago guys. You guys, man. I've been a Barstool guy for a long time, but the last couple of years I've been all over the Chicago stuff. So keep it up.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Love
Thank
that.
you.
Love to hear that.
That's awesome.
Clip that. Yeah, so we'll get your Notre Dame thoughts then too. How are you feeling headed into Monday night?
I feel good. It's obviously Ohio State's got ton of firepower there, but I think Notre Dame's got to dirty the game up a little bit, get a couple turnovers, run the ball, and kind of just play the way that's got them here, right? Be physical, punch them in the mouth, and kind of like Texas did, put a couple guys on that wide receiver.
Yeah. Don't let Jeremiah Smith touch the ball. That's got to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys like? I love this Notre Dame team because they kind of fit the identity and the foundation that your class and your group kind of laid, where it's going to be we're O-line, we're running the ball, we're tight ends, and nothing has really changed. They're just doing it at a higher level than they've done the last 5, 6, 7 years. Do you guys take a little bit of pride in that, where it's like, hey, like we set the culture for what Notre Dame is at this juncture?
Yeah, I think, Notre Dame's got a great history of offensive line play and kind of physical running the ball. But, when me and Eifert were there, we had a guy, I'm sure you're familiar with, Harry Heasnan, come in 2011 or 12. I think he came in and kind of changed just the culture of that room and that building. And, credit to the guys that have been there now. And even the few years before, they've done a great job of kind of keeping that tradition alive. And now it's something that Notre Dame's known for is, really good offensive line play.
How difficult is it going to be for this left tackle? I can't even pronounce his name. He was the big recruit who was out all year, and then Knapp gets hurt, and it's like, well, you've played 5 snaps. Why don't you get back out there? So what is that? Yeah. How is that? How are you able to prepare for something like that, where it's like your first real start is going to be in the national championship game?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously you want him to get a few more reps, right? But obviously the team had confidence going into the season for him to be the guy, and that's something I think Notre Dame's offensive line has done a really nice job of this year. They've had a bunch of guys kind of go down, and it's kind of been that next man up mentality, and guys have stepped up, right? So, obviously he was preparing to play before the season, and now he gets his opportunity in the biggest stage.
We were talking earlier, sorry to bring up bad memories. We were talking about the national championship you played in. What was your moment where you realized, like, holy fuck, these guys are –
Dude, we talk about it all the time, and I think I saw Manti talk about it on NFL Network a couple weeks ago, but it was like when we were standing in the tunnel at the same time as them before we came out the same tunnel. And when we were standing there, I think we saw like DJ Fluker, Chance Warmack, and we were like, fuck, dude. And then not to mention, our defense was our calling card that year. And I think the first drive of the game, they went straight down the field, like 80 yards, running the ball the whole way down. And it was like, oh shit, this could be a long day.
Well, Eddie Lacy looks like a guard. Like he's built like a guard. They just hand him the ball. It's like, well, this sucks. This sucks. Yeah. So are you going to come with Coach McCarthy then? Because we could use some help. Again? You want to come with Coach McCarthy? We could use some help up here.
I need a lot of help.
I am a free agent. You never
That's
know.
What I mean.
You're a free agent?
I am.
All right, let's bring you in. Come on. I'm not fucking kidding.
You can make that work?
Yes,
well, you can have a permanent chair right here if that helps sweeten the pot. We'll get you right here.
You can
kick White Sox Dave off.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's the easiest trade of all time.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it.
All right, let's do. Do you want to do scores?
Yeah, let's do a little score prediction.
Get out of here, Tyler.
Okay. All right.
Ooh. 31-27, Notre Dame. I think we're going to have to score some points to keep up.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to have to score some points. I think I'm going to go 35-24.
God damn, guys. God damn, that's a lot of points.
What do you mean? What do you want us to root for Ohio State?
No, I just think that's a lot of points. I was thinking 24.
I think we got to score them. I think that's,
I want to
win the game. We're
I want to muck it up.
Score some points.
Yeah, all right. I was going to say 24-20 Notre Dame, shorten the game, run that play clock down to 0 basically every snap, and just hope Howard gives you a couple.
Okay.
What do you? Like and here comes the Ohio State guy. Yeah,
31-14 Ohio State.
Oh,
sorry.
34. What did you say? 34-14. Make sure they cover too. Yeah. Nice.
All right. So now the new squad is going to be White Sox Dave, you two, and Eddie's out after that. Yeah, kick his ass out.
Fair. No, I don't even win.
All right.
Tyler, thanks, dude. Zach, thanks for jumping in. This was
that was fun.
Yeah, no, dude. Thanks for having me on. That's freaking sweet.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I can't wait. We'll get McCarthy. That's like a good package deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. See you, boys.
All right, fellas.
All right, see you.
Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.